The number one reason that people give me for still eating junk food, fast food, all the processed stupidity that we eat is that, oh, we got to die from something. So might as well be happy and eating what I want. And then, yeah, something's going to get me. And honestly, that is such a frustrating answer that people in my family give me. And what it doesn't take into consideration, which of course we're all going to die from something, we will die earlier if we have that attitude. And that's what it doesn't, it it ignores the fact that how I build my body matters. The other thing that goes right alongside this is that whole you only live once thing. But both of these come back to the same idea that because I'm going to pass at some point, what I do during the time that I'm here doesn't matter, and it has no ability to impact how long I live. It doesn't have an impact on how good I feel while I'm here. It completely ignores the fact that what you eat determines how you feel and determines what you are actually able to do with your body or what you're not able to do with your body, which is the scarier side of things. If I'm eating the wrong things, my body is going to suffer. The other reason that we don't do anything about it, that we keep eating the stupidity, is we think that we're only going to have to deal with this stuff when we're older. And I mean, older seems so far away. When I was 20, 50 seemed so far away. Now that I'm in my 50s, I feel like I blinked to get here. I'm just pointing that out to you, Wellness Warrior, because I think that a lot of the time we don't allow ourselves to understand that it all matters. Every moment that we have on this planet matters, and we can either use our time in a positive way towards our better, or we can waste it away, but you don't get the time back. So this is why I'm making this video for you guys today, because I want us to look at all the different ways that we could be doing good for ourselves and really truly putting our mind around the fact that we don't get the time back. We think that getting older equals and you're going to be in pain. We think that getting older equals and you're going to, your body's going to look haggard and you're going to be in like that nothing is going to work properly. That is something that's new. Like we don't even realize how before we had all the modern conveniences of walking to the kitchen, going to the fridge to get food, we had to go out in the world and hunt the food. And that meant that we had to be in good shape. If we weren't in good shape and able to run faster than and wrestle down and get our food, we weren't eating that day. Right? And yes, of course, our humanness allowed us to be smarter than the animals, and we worked together to get them. But a lot of the animals that we were taking down, these gigantic animals that we were taking down, it took strength as well. It wasn't just smarts. We didn't have like the weapons that we have today, Wellness Warrior. We were taking them down with like sharpened sticks and things that meant that we had to have strength behind what we were doing. And I feel like we don't let ourselves understand what that means. Because what it means is that we weren't just walking to the kitchen and getting a bowl of cereal. And by the way, grains, plants, grass, all these things were available to us. And what were we doing? We were taking down the big animals. We were eating meat and we were eating the fat that came along with that meat. And we understood the value of eating those things. We weren't chomping on, vegetation back then. We were trying to be as healthy as possible. And that was our body pushing us to do that. Our body was telling us, you need that, go get it. And we were going to get it. So I want us to truly understand that the information that we have and that we need to be healthy, we've always had it. That's what we need to really fully understand. So all this stuff that we see as normal, this aging that we do, that we're like, yeah, our body's just going to fall apart. That's what it does. Not true. Okay. I just want to make sure I say that a second. It's not true. Now, I'm confident in what I'm saying, because if the issues that we're talking about were due to natural aging, if that was just what was going to happen to us, then for sure we wouldn't see problems that were related to aging in our young people because they're too young, right? But that is actually what's happening today. We are seeing children with problems that used to be problems that were only found in the adult world. And that's part of the reason that I want us to pause and think about the fact that what we are doing today isn't working. Some of the problems that our young people are dealing with, again, we see them today as problems of youth. And I want us to start looking at them as the metabolic issues that they are, because it tells us that our body has stopped functioning the way that it's supposed to. And if we don't see that things like skin issues are problems that tell us that our body isn't functioning well, then we keep ignoring it. So and I'm not just talking about blemishes and acne, although that is a sign that your body is struggling. But I don't know if anybody's paying enough attention to the fact that it used to be that you needed to be a teenager to have skin issues. But now, children as young as 2 and 3 years old have skin issues, have eczema, and all these really damaging problems. My family has numerous people that have eczema. And I remember when my mom was helping, and we had the doctors telling us it's the food. And now they were blaming it on acidic foods like tomatoes and like vinegar, and oh, the kids shouldn't eat chips and all this stuff. But in my family, there's so many young people with eczema. It's crazy. And that's something that didn't used to be. You weren't having children that were having skin issues, especially 2, 3 years old. That's insanity, Wellness Warrior. Joint issues used to be something that we would hear older people talking about, arthritis and this kind of thing. I had joint issues in my early 20s, and those joint issues absolutely impacted my ability to do a lot of things. All the sports that I wanted to do that I couldn't do because I was in pain all the time. And not to say that I didn't do them at all, because I did, but I would do the sport, I would be in pain, I'd have to recuperate. So I could never be on a team. I was only able to do my sports recreationally because I was just hurting so much after playing, right? And those joint issues, which I got some relief from with intervention. So you have you go to the physio, and you learn exercises, and you try to strengthen yourself, and you're doing all these things. But it was years and years and years of interventions and treatments. And I don't do any interventions anymore. I don't do any treatments anymore. I'm still doing my activities. I do more activities now than I was doing before. How's that possible? Because I changed the way that I'm eating, Wellness Warrior, and my joint issues are gone. But we've been told that, hey, no, this is what happens when you get older. Your joints are just, or it's what happens when you're too heavy, right? Your body just can't carry all that weight. Obviously, your joints are going to hurt. My pain in my joints were gone before I lost the 80 pounds that I lost. So let's just chew on that for a moment. What about the autism, ADHD, and mental health issues that we're seeing in younger and younger of our people? There's so many young people doing therapy for depression, for anxiety, for oppositional defiant disorder. They just explode in anger and they can't control their emotions. And now we are understanding that a lot of that is due to the foods they are eating. at this very, very young, tender age when their body and brain needs to be developing. Their brain is developing in a sea of carbohydrates that's damaging their overall health. And do we acknowledge that it's the carbohydrates that's damaging their health? Nope. Nope, not at all. It's normally this way. We can't deprive the children of fun foods. What kind of horrible parent would I be to deprive my child of fun foods? So we keep them eating the junk, but then we put them on medication to manage their symptoms. How many kids today are on ADHD medication unnecessarily because we could change their food and help them? How many children are locked in a world of autistic behaviors, and then we could change what they're eating and get them out of that situation? How many children are depressed and anxious and all the things because we keep saying that they deserve junk food? What about all the kids that have cancer? Is that normal that a body should be functioning in a way that you're developing cancer under the age of 10? That's supposed to be, again, a malfunction that shouldn't happen that early in life, and yet it's happening. And we decide that, it must be genetic. Not that it's because we are growing our children in an environment of sugar. Oh, how do you grow sugar? How do you grow cancer in a lab? In an environment of sugar, Wellness Warrior? Is it any surprise that our children are not doing well? But then if our children aren't doing well, is this problem that we see that we are in pain by the time we're in our 70s strictly because we're aging? If our children can't do it, how are we supposed to be able to manage it into our teen years, into our adult years, and into our older years? How are we supposed to manage it? We have younger and younger people with irritable bowel syndrome and disorder. I had a video with Lee. You can check that out. I'll try to remember to link it, where he talked about how from such a young age he was struggling with food and been told to eat a diet that just made it worse, until the point where half of his large intestine gets removed with just a teeny little bit of it left in the hopes that maybe they could reconnect. That's not going to happen. And unfortunately, we do know that he's gotten the surgery. He went in for the surgery to get the last little bit of it removed. All of this because he was eating the wrong foods. Watch the video. He talks about his heart-wrenching, Wellness Warrior. And why is all this happening? It's happening because we don't seem to understand that the food we eat determines the way that our body is being built and repaired, because our body is constantly being built and repaired depending on what stage of life we're in. As we get older, it's repaired and repaired and repaired, right? But when we're growing as children, it's being built. And all of the processes my body is going to do is based on the foods that I'm eating. It's so frustrating. We think that the stuff that happens, like the heart issues that get us in older age, or the weight issues that get us when we're older. Well, actually, I can't even say weight issues are strictly when we're older. Younger and younger people are being characterized as obese today. How it used to be in the rarity that you would even see a chubby 7-year-old. Kids are constantly running around and playing 24/7. But now we have obese. I remember meeting this kid that was maybe 8 months old. First of all, I thought the kid was 2 or 3 until I realized the kid couldn't walk or talk. And the kid was barely 8 months old and had to have weighed like 50 pounds already. How? Wellness Warrior, this is not the way it's supposed to be. But we're living in a world where food, it's always around us. We don't have to do much to get it, and it's the wrong food. The most important thing that we need to understand is it's the wrong food. We are eating so carb heavy that our bodies just cannot manage. And we have now obese children. And we have people whose minds, we are living in a world of dementia from younger and younger ages. I remember when I found out that Michael J. Fox had Parkinson's. And so basically his brain was not functioning. I remember when I was doing a stage at a CEGEP, that, which is like college in Quebec. So I was at a CEGEP, and one of the people I was working with had multiple sclerosis, and it was already wheelchair bound. He was CEGEP age, so that's 17, 18 years old, already wheelchair bound. His brain and body were not communicating properly already. There's so much that we are living that we shouldn't be living. Our body is just falling apart at younger and younger ages. And then we are believing that it's normal, like it's normal that when I get older, our body does not function. This is not about getting older at that point when you're 18 and your body has stopped communicating properly, which now I'm learning that the fat that we need to build a proper human body, there's a specific kind of fat that we need, Wellness Warrior, that we're not getting. Why aren't we getting it? Because we're not eating animal products. We need animal fat to build our body, but we keep trying to give it plant oils that are, sure, they're healthy oils if you do the olive or the canola. Not canola. If you do the olive, or you do coconut, or you do maybe there's others, I don't know. But, of course, if you do lard and ghee and tallow, those are the perfect oils. But we've been told that those are dangerous, that those are going to kill. So we're using these seed oils like canola and vegetable and all the wrong thing, peanut oil that goes rancid so quickly. We're using all the wrong oils, damaging our health. And our body's trying to create myelin sheaths to protect our neurons, and it can't do it because we're not giving it the right oil to make those myelin sheaths. What are we supposed to do? So our body is making myelin sheaths the best that it can, but that's not good enough, Wellness Warrior. It's not good enough. And so our body struggles. So our health deteriorates. So we're saying, oh, it's a genetic problem. No, it's what you're eating. We end up waiting until our health is actually on the line before we do anything that has anything to do with food, right? I'm so overweight that I hate my life. That's when I go on a diet. Or my doctor is saying like you might actually have a heart attack. That's when I stop eating junk food. And I still eat the rice and the pasta and the whatever because I'm being told that that's healthy. But yeah, I might put down the cookies and the chips and the ice cream when the doctor is saying, hey, your health is on the edge right now. Why do we need to wait until we're at the edge before we do the thing that's healthier? It's because we're believing this lie that we've been told. I know I was told that lie from the moment that I was spoken to about food, right? I was told the lie that, first of all, pasta, rice, potatoes, those are healthy foods. We all need to eat them. You need a grain and you need fruit in your diet every single day. If you're not doing those things, you're not healthy. I've been told that since I was in elementary school. I was told that because my mom was told that. And so we've always had these things on our plate that I now know shouldn't have been there. But the other reason is because we're afraid of meat. We're afraid of fat, animal fat. Well, why are we afraid? Because we've been told that those are the smallest amount of anything that you should ever eat. If you look at the food pyramids that we have that are telling us what's healthy, the smallest amount of natural foods are the animal products, right? Because they're going to give you a heart attack. They're going to cause your body to not function. Well, can I point out that most people under the age of 10 aren't cooking their own meals? So we cannot say that they're eating animal proteins behind their parents' back. Those parents are feeding them what they're being told to feed them, and yet they end up in the cancer ward, or they end up obese, or they end up with MS or Parkinson's at a young 20-ish. I'll have to double check how old Michael J. Fox was when he got diagnosed. But they're ending up in poor health stories. And they weren't cooking those things for themselves. They were being fed the cereals and the grains and the things that their parents were being told are the things that are going to keep them as healthy as possible. And it turned out that that wasn't true. I watched a Netflix special, and the lady was talking about, I'll put it on the screen if I remember. The lady was talking about the fact that our teeth are the body's early warning system. If your teeth aren't doing well, that's your body telling you, hey, something is wrong. Do you have cavities? Do you have pain in your teeth, in your mouth? Like, pay attention to your mouth. Your mouth is the thing that is where your food, all your nourishment is coming in. And if your mouth isn't doing well, that's a big red flag, Wellness Warrior. Because if your teeth fall out, if you cannot eat, we would have been messed up, right? Yet somehow we are going through our lives not really understanding that, in fact, we have cavities from the youngest of young ages, which means that we're eating the wrong thing. When I went to see my dentist, the dental hygienist was saying to me that, yeah, she's noticed that I have hardly any tartar anymore. And she was pointing out that it's her understanding that when you stop eating so much carb, you don't have as much tartar. She was like, hey, congratulations. I could see it. I could see it on your teeth. Your body is constantly giving you signs, trying to help you understand how to be healthier. And if you want to be healthier, the number one thing you're going to do is listen to what your body's telling you. Follow through. Do the things. So eat the foods. So part one, let's pay attention to the signs. If your teeth, your skin, if your sleep is being disrupted, if you are experiencing any kind of minimal kind of discomfort in your body's telling you something. And it could be telling you that the foods you're eating are not helping your health. And you need to actually pay attention to these early warning signs, because those early warning signs, if you change your food and you eat better, you can just eliminate the possibility of your body struggling. But if you end up getting serious pain, right, like your hips, your joints are bothering you, like what happened to me in my 20s, if your teeth are in pain, if you have like, toothaches and pains and whatever, if you're getting headaches all the time, like what's happening to me when I was in my teen years, I was having headaches all the time. If your body is giving you actual pain, guess what? It's telling you that the food you're eating could be something that you want to take a look at. Your body is warning you. And if you get to the part where you have one of the itises, right? You have some kind of bursitis, that means you have an inflammation problem. Right? If you have arthritis, you have an inflammation problem. If you have bowel problems where you're just running to the bathroom all the time, so inflammation is a huge issue that we live with, that we don't solve fast enough. That causes a lot of issues in our lives, Wellness Warrior. Because by the time you get to the point of illness, you might be looking at medication. You might be looking at a bigger investment to heal yourself. And I want us to understand that you might actually need surgery. And that's scary and that's unnecessary. I want us to understand that you could do something before that point. One of the worst parts about what I'm talking about right now is the fact that even when we are at the stage of illness, we still have options, but we don't see them. Even at the stage of illness. So diabetes you're being told that, hey, you're diabetic. People are solving diabetes with food. People are solving like high blood pressure with food. People are solving all kinds of mental health issues with food. Even when we're at the stage of illness, you can still solve the problem with food. Or you can listen to the company that says, hey, I have this medication for you that will allow you to keep eating the junk food, and you just take the medication forever. Hey, I have this procedure for you, like for weight loss. We can do stomach bands and like stomach bypass and all kinds of surgeries to lose weight. And they're going to give you that surgery and say, hey, you could do that, and then you get to keep eating the things that you were eating that you love. The problem is they don't tell you that if you keep eating the things that you were eating that you love, your weight will come back on. They don't tell you that part, Wellness Warrior. But that's part of the lie that companies tell you, because here's the thing. If a company would actually give you a permanent solution, a real solution to the health problem that you're living, that's a one-time buy-in. And so for that to be profitable, they either need to sell that at an extremely high number, like say $10, $15, $40,000 to one person, which most of us, we couldn't afford. Or they sell you not a solution, but they sell you a treatment. And that treatment, it's going to cost you like maybe $100 a month, maybe $200 a month. But that's forever, Wellness Warrior. Once they get you in that, they've got you forever. And that's why they're so willing to do it, because, well, I can either get, $10, $15, $40,000 out of you right away, or I can get that $40,000 out of you over the course of your lifetime. And they're willing to play the long game, because they know if they try to play the game of get it right now, only a select few of us would be able to get into that system. Now, does that mean that they never do it? No. There are lots of procedures that people can pay for that cost thousands of dollars. Even like plastic surgery is a great example. For the people who are able to afford it, they're going to do plastic surgery because it's considered cosmetic, and so they can afford it. They're going to do it, and fine, they get the benefit. But for the rest of us, we can't afford it. That market is only for the people that can afford it. The thing that you really want to help yourself to see here, Wellness Warrior, is that yes, there are going to be some things where the solution being cheaper benefits the company, and they're going to be willing to do that solution because they're going to get your money starting today forever. And if you're starting into their system at 40 and you live until you're 80, that's 40 years worth of money they got out of you. And even if you get into their system at 60 and they get you till 80, that's still 20 years. And before that, you were in the other system. You were eating the junk food, and you were giving the company, so the food company, money. So you're in a system. Somebody is making money off you, compared to the people who should be making money off us. People that are raising the cattle, people that are raising the chickens, people that are going off and fishing and getting us wild caught fish, right? They're the ones who should be making money off of us, because we need that stuff. We need those animals to be healthy and for our body to function correctly. So those are the people that should be making money off of us when it comes to our health. If I fall and break a bone, yes, my doctor should make some money there helping me out, right? If I'm skiing and I hurt my back, yes, the chiropractor or the physio or the osteo that I go to should make some money there helping me out. But because I'm eating the wrong food, pharmaceuticals making money off me? No. If I want to put on makeup, yeah, pharmaceuticals should make some money there. We need to decide who gets to make money off of us and in what way. And we need to say no to it being companies making us sick so that they can make money off of us. I wish I could remember which company it was that said this, but there was a meeting and they were talking about, solutions. And somebody on the board said solutions don't make money, treatments do. And I really need us to take that at face value, Wellness Warrior. They're not trying to solve cancer. They're not trying to solve even our high blood pressure issues. They're looking for medications that we could take forever. They're looking for treatments that they will do repeatedly rather than tell us that if we ate better, we wouldn't get into the problem in the first place. But if they told us to eat better, then they would be dipping into their own profits, right? Because we wouldn't need the medications that they come up with. And that's really, I have a video where I talk about the fact that companies don't care about us and that we aren't really worth as much to them as we think we are, because we think that they want the foods to be healthy. We think that, but it's not reality. They want the foods to be tasty, so we buy them. And in their partnerships with, and I say partnerships because that's what keeps this alive. Pharma knows that the food companies' foods are making us sick, but it keeps pharma alive because it gives them products to create to get us out of these painful situations. So if they shut down the food companies, there's no reason for us to need their medications. Food companies know that the foods are making us sick, but if they make them healthier, we won't eat them, so we won't want to. So they can't tell on each other because they actually hold each other's hands. And then both of those systems feed the medical because the doctors are the one prescribing us this stuff. Now, I'm not saying any of the individuals working in these places know what's going on. It's the higher ups in all of these places that know what's going on. But do they actually care to stop their money coming in? That's keeping them the higher ups, right? They are making so much money, more money than they will ever spend in their lifetime, by the way, more money than they need to have. But our lives aren't worth that much. I want you to watch that other video. That's the video I'm going to link after this one because you need to understand how I got to this conclusion. And I walk you through it in this other video, so check it out. But we all need to see it. We think companies care about us. They don't. They care about the money we spend on them. And they'll do anything to keep us spending money on them. So for my goal for you is for you to learn that it's not reality that your body needs to be falling apart. We would have still been chasing the animal. We would have had no choice but to stay healthy to eat. And if that's our reality, if we need to stay healthy to eat, then what's happening now isn't happening because it's supposed to happen. It's happening because we no longer need to stay healthy to eat. We can very easily eat because other people are putting the food in front of us rather than us having to go catch that food. Other people are growing the vegetables for us other than us growing those vegetables. If I was growing my own vegetables, that would mean that there's only a certain period of time in the year where I would have access to those vegetables. And the rest of the time, I would have to go and catch an animal. I live in Montreal, right? So there's 6 months of the year where you're not growing food in your backyard. It's not happening. It's just not happening. And the other 6 months when you are, you still have the time where you've planted it. You need to wait for it to grow. You need to, all the things that need to happen before I can harvest it and eat it. You need to eat healthy every single day in order for you to have the body you want to have, to be a pain-free life, to be a healthy life. So we need to work together to make that happen. I've got lots of links in the description for different ways you can work with me. You can check that out. But check out this video. I'll talk to you soon.